Hello, hello, everybody. It is Tuesday and we are at the campground. Can you hear me okay? I have my earphones in. I don't know why I have my earphones in, but just probably a lot easier to hear. Is anybody here? Oh, there's some comments. Hello. Hey, Karen. How are you? Are you home? Are you back from your trip? I hope you had a good time visiting your mama. We need to catch up. Um, let's see, you guys. It looks like we are here. Um, I'm looking for our reader question of the week because I never look at them before. Let's see. Reader question. I'm still scanning. Still scanning. Sorry, you guys. You know, when you're in a all right, I've got a reader question. All right, so I know it's a hot mess. I'm a hot mess today. So, hello, Karen. Hello, Jane. How are you, Jane? What is going on with your move? Because I send you mail and I want to make sure that you're getting it. So let me know what is going on with your move. Make sure you're keeping me posted. Today, y'all, Eddie and I went on a 4-mile hike in the Appalachia. And it's so interesting, the people that you meet. So we met these people. They're probably, I would say, late 60s. This couple on the trail. Well, first off, they get out. The one that we were doing was a 4-mile, and it was to the top of this peak, and then it has this beautiful view, and then you take the same trail back. So it's not like you're going somewhere. So we pull up, and they're in the back of their truck, and they strap on these big backpacks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Eddie, I mean, are we missing something? Did we not bring, because we didn't bring any food, and we did bring a bottle of water, and I'm like, oh, I mean, what are they doing? I mean, what's in those backpacks? I feel like I'm missing out on something, the FOMO of these big backpacks. And so I'm like, well, it's the trail up there and then the trail back, and I don't want to get stuck behind them if they've got these. I mean, I'm talking big backpacks, like from the top to the bottom, right? So I'm like kind of wondering what we're missing out on here. Did we do our research? So we get to the beautiful top, and I'll show you guys a picture. But of course, if you're in the Cozy Crew, for June, you're going to get to see all the pictures, because that's what I do is I go to these places and take pictures. And then for the month of June, which is National Camping Month, we do all the places that I've been, plus various sites and things. So when I went camping last week, we did a lot of the Underground Railroad tours and things like that. So I'm excited to show you that. And then this week we did Appalachia. So that was the top. That was at the top after the 4 miles. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. That's Appalachia. And So, anyways, I'll put the Cozy Crew link if you're not belonging to that in the notes. So, anyways, we get up there, and I mean they've got walking sticks, and I'm thinking, okay, and the altitude's like 900, so it's high altitude, but it wasn't very steep. It was like kind of a gradual thing, and so we get to the top, and of course, you know me, I don't know a stranger, and and of course this is probably going to offend somebody, but I'm a Native American, so it doesn't offend me. But my mom always used to say, Mama used to say, Tanya, you could talk to a wooden Indian. You know, the wooden Indians that are always at the cigar store. So mom says I could just talk to a wooden Indian. And since we are Native American, I could say that and don't be offended, y'all. Anyways, so what happened was that, you know, since I'm so shy, we get to the top, and they're like, oh, it's beautiful. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's gorgeous. And they're like, yeah, this is our second trip up here today. And I'm like, today? And I'm like, oh, and they said, we're training to go out west to climb. They're doing a 10-day, 10-night hike to Mount Rainier in Washington State. And they said that they're training for this, and they live here locally. So they're taking the trail every day for twice a day, because it will equal like 8 miles when they do it twice. And every day that they're hiking out there, they I mean, it's so interesting. Every day that they're hiking out there is 10 miles, but the last day is 5 miles. And so, of course, you know me, I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me all about this. And because my murdery mind is already like, oh my gosh, somebody is coming to Happy Trails to do the Daniel Boone National Forest, and somebody's going to die. So I'm like asking all these questions. And so we'll get to that in a second, what Eddie said in a second. So, anyways, so I'm like asking these questions, and I'm like, okay, what about your food? And they're like, oh, they're allowed to take food and put food in 5-gallon buckets. And so every 2 days on the trail, they meet up with their food in these 5-gallon buckets, and they replenish their backpacks. So her backpack was 22 pounds. And I don't know how big his was, but it was big. And they had these water bottles. And so I'm like, oh, so are you going by yourself, or is this like a tour? And they're like, oh, we're doing it with my sister and my brother-in-law. And I said, oh, look at Eddie. Eddie, say hi to the people. And so I said, oh, you're doing it with your sister and brother-in-law. That's interesting. And I'm thinking, oh, you know, who could be the killer here? And I said, are they also training as hard as you guys? Because they're going in 7 weeks. And they said that the sister-in-law recently has broken 2 bones in the top of her foot. So she's not able to, I guess, train right now for it, but she's going to start hiking in like a week or something. I don't know. So anyways, you know, they were talking about the Appalachia mountains and the trail and the place that we were, which was so interesting, and just lovely couple. So Eddie and I, you know, leave. Of course, it's not without taking a photo of us up there, um, which of course, you know, I had a dilly wop in my hair. So there we were in the dilly wop. This was literally just a couple hours ago. And so, yeah, I decided to put lipstick on for y'all. But anyways, so what happened was that Eddie's like, oh, are you, you know, interested in doing a 10-day hike? And I'm like, no, but I'm interested in how somebody would kill somebody on a 10-day hike. And, you know, they're staying they stop at the camp, because they tent camp on this trail for this 10 days. And I'm like, and you know, Happy Trails has tent spots, which, by the way, last week when if you're going to be if you're in the Cozy Crew, you're going to see all of the things that I took last year. Let me see if I've got, last week. So, let's see if I have them. I might have deleted some of these. So I put them in let's see. But there are tent spots I took some pictures of tent spots at the other um, campground, and how they're kind of like laid out in campgrounds, since I don't really tent camp anymore. But the campground that we were at recently did have tent spots, which were really cool. And it looked like that they were getting ready to build like an outdoor fire pit for the tent spots. But anyway, so I'm like, oh, Happy Trails, like they could be going through Daniel Boone, and May's place could be a tent spot. And so, anyways, I don't know. But of course, my murdery mind went to that. And then on the trail, I saw a tree that has all the love. And I'm like, oh my God, totally came up with another plot for that. Just carving names in the tree. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Eddie. And he's like, oh my God, we're supposed to be enjoying this walk and be present. And here you are doing all of these crazy murder things. Hey, Lord, how are you? He'll say hello. Hello, Anita. Hello, Catherine. Hi, Mary. Hello, Marilyn. I can hear. Oh, good. Yes, we got back at 2:30. Good. Hello, hello. Hello, Sylvia. How are you? Linda is here. Lysine is here. I don't, Nick. Hey Sherry, I can't believe I caught you live. I know, usually on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. So I'd say to Eddie, I'm not sure if I'm going to go live. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going live. Who cares? Hey, Lynn, I was just talking about you and your cute little husband, Leonard, in the Patreon group. And I said, Leonard is in our Patreon group and y'all need to come on the Zooms. They are so much fun. So much fun. By the way, if you guys did not see my post earlier, I have an Amazon book club. There are about 700 people in our book club. Let me put the link up. The reason why I'm now remembering my book club is because it's a public book club, but we are reading a book in there called Canter with a Killer. And we're actually reading it in our Patreon group. And so there's the link to the book club if you want to join the book club. And Lynn and Leonard, tell Leonard hello. That is the link I just posted on the chat that you can join with us and you can get the book. It is not open on our Zoom call for our Patreons to the public, but this book club that I just posted a link to, we will be answering questions once a week. So I hope you guys join and read the book. Actually, I don't have the book yet. I'm getting it from my library. It's called Canter with a Killer, and I've not read this author. Her name is Amber Camp, and her book is kind of pricey. It's $14. And I think that's kind of high, but it's not her fault. So I'm getting it through my library. So come join us. Hey, Julie, it's good to see you. Jane says that she does not know when they're moving, but she'll let me know. Awesome. We will move across the street. Oh, okay. Hello, Kim. How are you? Hello, Lisa. Both Kim and Lisa are on Patreon. It is beautiful here. Yes. This is our favorite campground. It is called Sandy Springs, and it is in Stout, Ohio. It's about 2 hours from our home, and we love it. It is beautiful. They gave me a mug when I got here yesterday, so I get to use that for my morning coffee post. And this morning I slept in, y'all. I slept into a whole 7 o'clock. And so I did not do a coffee post because I didn't make it in time. So it is beautiful here. And we have a fire ring, and then they give us chairs, and of course my Snuggie, and all that good stuff. So Lisa, I hope you're having a great time. We are having a good time. So today I worked on our Patreon. Lisa, and because we have so many fun things. I mean, Rowena's posts in there, her weekly chats crack me up. And so I was working on those. As you know, she takes a long time to craft those. So we were working on those together today. And then we went for a big long hike. Hey, Danielle, the Bluegrass Reader. We love the Bluegrass State. I'm so glad you're here. The Bluegrass State, our home. I love the camper audiobooks until YouTube removed them. Oh, Linda, that was YouTube removed them because they were pirated. They were illegally on there. So you got them through an illegal site. So they were, YouTube removed them at the request of myself and my publisher who produces those, Tantor, because they were illegally. All those sites that you see, it says free cozy mysteries, unless it's on the site of the publisher or the author. My author page there on YouTube does have the holiday series as well as the Killer Coffee series audio, as well as the Charming series audio. But the camper ones were illegally put up there. And that is a big fat no. So we took them down. Everybody says hello to Eddie. Hello, Allison. How are you? Lisa, can't wait to see this in a book. Oh, I know what I was telling you. It is crazy. That sounds hard. That the 10 days of hiking, probably. I love this. I know, they're hilarious. Hey, Kathleen, how are you? Yes, you were. Hot and dry here in Northeast Louisiana. Lynn says, I will try to get him there. Well, you come if he can't land. We'll just do that. Let's see. Betsy wants to know, did you get Happy Trails from the old Roy Rogers theme song, or was that before your time? I believe that was before my time. I'm 52, and we have a Roy Rogers restaurant in Cincinnati that I love. I have to go over the river from Kentucky. But Happy Trails, I know the song. Is it the Happy Trails to You? Is that Roy Rogers? I don't know. But anyways, it is something that I made up instead of using that like Happy Camper, which is pretty, you know, blah, because everybody says happy camper or whatever. And I was like, oh, what do? We do trails. So it's Happy Trails because there's trails all throughout the campground and the Daniel Boone National Forest. So that is how we do it. Lisa said that she's waiting for the library too. I know, I'm cheap. I was in the garden at 7. You got it. Karen missed the Patreon Zoom. You always miss the Patreon Zoom. You and Jane. Everybody has said hello. Hello, Federica. We're sad to see you go the other night. We did Mad Libs and it was hilarious. And so I'll be posting those in the Patreon so you guys can see what we came up with. We just laughed and giggled. Hello, Ramona. How are you? Andrew said, reading the Charming series. Oh, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that so much. And we're so glad you're here. Yes, that's Roy Rogers. Oh, yeah. Patreon is so much fun. We do have a good time in there. I love it. But I am here to answer a reader question. I was hoping maybe a barge would come through, but I don't see one. And today's reader question is from Brianne Cook. And she wants to know, who does your book covers? So my book cover artist is Mariah Sinclair, and she is amazing. I wonder if I can pull up. Let's see. She is awesome, and she does a lot of pre-made covers. I will go ahead and post I will go ahead and put up her website on our things here. So she is a cover artist. And, I don't know how I got involved with Mariah, but I do know that I only use Mariah for all my covers. And the actual camper covers were pre-made covers that she had made. The first 3 were pre-mades that she had made and was having them for sale. And I knew that I wanted those. But she's not the first time I've ever used her. And so then she and I just click, and she has hundreds of clients, and she's amazing. She also just had, let me look, because she also just did like an Etsy store. Um, so if you're interested in that, I think her Etsy store is like some, uh, let's see, I think her Etsy store is got, um, some AI covers in there, which I don't mind AI. I mean, uh, if you look at the Charming covers, some of those are AI, and that does not bother me one bit. Uh, they are fine. I don't mind AI at all. Um, but I will take you to her Etsy shop where she does have some covers made. These are more, I think, romancy covers and maybe some science, sci-fi, and she works with you. But really, what happens is that sometimes I come up with the names, sometimes I don't, and I'm like, just work your magic, because she knows we've worked together for so long. She knows what I like. So, for instance, I am a client, so I have a continuation. It's called continuing a series. So she'll say, if you're a client, you can go onto the series, the portal, if you're a continuation. So she already kind of knows what the style of that series is. So it's not so hard for her to do from scratch. So she will get those done. So then, for instance, I have a cover appointment with her in July. And so really she'll say it's for like July 7th or something, like that day is when I do it. And then you put down a deposit, which is like $50 per cover. And I want 3 camper covers in July. And I know that the one is a Christmas camper cover. And so she knows that already. And I have the names of the next 3 camper books that aren't on pre order yet. And so I'll just say, these are the covers. And then she always asks on the form, what's it about? Which I never fill it out. What's your idea of the cover? And I'm like, whatever's in your head. Like she's probably like, can't you give me like more detail than that? But I don't. And because I trust her so much with all my covers, she redid all of the Killer Coffee covers, which were so great and has done so well. And she redid all the Charming covers. I think those look so well as well. I mean, she's done all the mail carrier covers. She's done all the holiday covers. And so when I wanted the holiday covers, I said, I just want it to be a cover with like the holiday that the book is about, and maybe like a skull or two. And so, for instance, 4th of July Forgery, which is actually up on Bella right now, and our Patreon are getting it. But if you were to look, let me see if I can find the picture, because I mean, it's just so subtle. So like this. So, and I told her I wanted the little town on top. This is Holiday Cozy Mystery, which is what she did. But it's so subtle, you don't really see the murdery thing until you look at that. And they're skull and crossbones on the fireworks, on the firecrackers, which I love. So that was the cover. I wanted a big name on the cover, like the big title, not necessarily my name, but they say once your name gets bigger on the cover, you've made it. Maybe I need to put a bigger name. I don't know, but I've not made it apparently. But I make my own cover. Well, she makes my own cover, so I just keep the same. So my name is pretty much the same style all over all of the covers. And so it's just kind of a branding thing that we did. So I love her, and she's amazing. So she designs my covers, and I hope that gives you an answer. Let's see. Thank you so much, Brianne, for asking that. And if anybody else has a reader question, I would love for you to ask. Let's see, Jane. Jane says, how much do covers cost? That is a great question. They can range anywhere from $600 to $3,000 a cover. it depends on what you get. So for me, if since Jane gets all my books in paperback because she's in Patreon. um you notice how it just has the front cover and then it doesn't really have a wrap on it like other books do. It's just the plain one color that goes with the actual front cover. So like Fourth of July Forgery, I don't know what the wrap on that's going to be. It's probably just going to be like red to match that red or blue to match the blue. But you can get so much things on covers, and I'm just basic, so we just do the front cover. So it and I order like 3 or 4 covers at a time. So I'm also pretty simple since she already has my thing down. So if you were like a brand new, um, if it's a brand new series, it's a little bit more. So it's in between those prices. But once you get the series going and it's the same kind of format and the same all that, it's kind of like a cut and paste kind of thing with the names. So it goes cheaper as the series gets on. So you're looking anywhere from 500 to like 3,000, depending on what you're getting for one cover. So, but covers are worth it. They're beautiful. Let's see. Andrew said he loves Prince Charming on the covers. Thank you, Andrew. And the charms, as you notice, they're no longer around his neck. And the charm bracelet, they're kind of dangling off of the name. So we went back and forth. Mariah and I went back and forth on that. And I'm like, well, I really want and I have a charm bracelet. I have a lot of charm bracelets that I wear, and I still wear them a lot. But I said it's so important to the series for the charms to be there, and so we couldn't figure out how we wanted them on there. So she's like, "Oh my gosh, what about this?" She goes, "What about this?" And so she sent me an email, and she dangled it off of the name, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love that!" So I don't know if people are catching it or not catching it, but yeah, I love that too. I'm so excited. And the newest one, a charming Hex Assist, will actually be free starting June the 1st. And I will have that link for you guys. Actually, I don't know if I have it. I don't have it now, but I have a link that you guys can get not only my book, but also other paranormal cozy mystery authors. There are, I think, 50 of us, and we all wrote a brand new paranormal cozy with our books, and we're putting them up for free for a year, just like I did Twisty Tales. And so that starts June 1st. So you're going to be getting the last book that I just wrote in that series. Lisa said she absolutely loved it. Thank you so much, Lisa. That means so much to me. I truly, truly appreciate that. Jane, covers are what attracted me to the book, so I'd put the money into. Right. And people always say, don't judge a book by its cover. We all do. I know I do. And, like for instance, the Killer Coffee series, it is such a good series. I love that series. I mean, it's one of my very most favorites. And the covers I initially had gotten from that cover artist, they did well when they first came out, but they really didn't attract. They just kind of started falling off and not go on with trends. So when I was talking to Mariah, I said, I think we need brand new covers. And she said, no, you just need a Botox on them. And I'm like, oh, okay. What's that mean? She said, well, maybe we need to fluff up Pepper a little bit. And I'm like, great. And so that's when we decided to, redo all of those covers. And, it was a little pricey, but ever since then, the covers have been in the top 100 in Amazon. So, I think that people are starting to, recognize those covers. They're like, oh, when they first read Scene of the Crime, like, oh, this is a great series. And then they, buy through the series, which is what covers should do. So, Allison said she loves all the new covers. Thank you so much. Catherine, hello. She said the covers are so important. And then Ramon says, so far, I only listened to the Camper series and love it to the point that I've listened to it over and over. Oh, thank you so much, Ramona. I really appreciate that. I love that so much. She does such a great job with those. The narrator, an interesting story about that is I actually, all of those books are narrated. Well, they're all published through Tantor, which I took. It's a deal that I took with them. Like they don't have the books, but they have the audio rights, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's because I really like having, all like being diversified with that. Um, and so when, she was, my, oh gosh, I tell you, it was, I think your narrator just makes such a big difference. And, Joanna Parker is amazing. And so sometimes the company, like they just took the next 3 books in audio in a contract. We just made another contract with them. So I don't know if anybody has knows that yet. Um, so they kind of wait till last minute. So I was like, oh, are they not going to give me another contract? And, I want them to because I really like her. And some narrators don't actually work with self-published indie authors. And so I reached out to Joanna, and narrators are kind of pricey. I mean, it depends. They are per hour. So they run anywhere from $200 to $500 an hour. And so she's a little bit on the pricier side, but that's because she's like super good and she is seasoned and she's earned to be on the pricier side. But they uh, tend to be like 5 or 6 hours long, which are short for audiobooks. So just think if she was $500 an hour, how much I would have to pay her to audiobook them. So I was like, oh gosh, and so I reached out to her and I said, hey, if they don't take a contract, she's like, oh my gosh, I love these characters. I usually don't work with indie authors, but I do love these characters so much that I would do this for you. So I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So, but then like a day later, I got an email from Tantor and my rep there saying, hey, we would like the next 3 books in the series, which they've got the last 2 and then they don't have questions yet. So anyway, so I haven't had to cross that bridge, but yeah, she is super, super amazing. Ramona. Lisa said, do you ever keep the fish you get from your pond? No, we could, I guess. We have hundreds of fish. Like when first, so we have not put any fish in, but except for the ones we got from the hatchery truck for the carp, because we have another carp and she's like so big, and so we bought 2 smaller carps because unfortunately once carps get so big they hurt the pond, and so we're almost to that point and we would have to actually spearfish the carp, which I hate to do that, but all the little ones from last year have grown to bigger, and then we have more little ones, and now Sherlock and Shirley Lock have baby Sherlock, and oh my gosh, it's so much fun. We love feeding them. I feed them, Eddie does it, but it's funny because they know. So as soon as they see me, they come, they're like, oh, she's here, and I talk to them like, hey, what are you guys doing? And so I have so much fun. So so yeah. That's hilarious. So she said, I like watching you feed them. I know, because they're like crazy, but it's so funny because like the bass or the bigger bluegill, like say the camera here, like you're over here, here's your face. They are back there like waiting, looking at me while I'm feeding the fish, and they're waiting for the little tiny fish to come up there, and then they and eat the tiny fish. And I'm like, that's not nice. You be nice. You play nice. Yeah, so I hope they're not starving when I get back. How are the turtles doing? They're good too, and they eat the fish food too. And so Sherlock, I swear, I always think he's got something wrong with him because he's always like missing it. He's like, "Rah, rah, rah." I'm like, you didn't, and then I'll puck him on the head with one. I'm like, here you go. Let's see. Jane says that my daughter Meg has ducks that will come up to her door and knock on it when they want food. I love that. I want ducks to come on my door. Well, I don't. Eddie scares off the ducks. Y'all have seen that, huh? Yeah, Eddie said we don't want ducks. Oh, well, you guys, I am going to get off here. And I will. Oh, Kristen said that's hysterical, Jane. It is. Eddie's always out there scaring off the ducks. I'm like, dude, um, they're fine. So, anyways, Eddie is cooking. Should we go in and say hi to Miss Rowena before we get off here and see what she's doing? There's our neighbor. That's what it looks like. There's no. Some people have left for the day at the boat ramp, and they probably are leaving because there's a lot of people coming in for Memorial Day. It's a huge camping weekend. So, oh well, Miss Rowena is asleep, y'all. Here she is. Look at her, out like a light. Let's see if we can get a better picture of her. Sister. No, out like a light. And then she's sitting here. Here's my mug that they gave me at the campground. I was just drinking a cup of coffee before we got on. Isn't that cool? And she made some really cool bookmarks, the owner. And I'm going up there tomorrow and I'm going to buy some for our National Camping Month next month to give away. And so it has the barge on the back. They're bookmarks. And then she says, books, camping, and barges, perfect for Sandy Springs Campground. So I'm going to purchase some of these for our Cozy Crew. Let me stick that Cozy Crew link up. I know if Karen is here. Karen runs the Cozy Crew, so I'm sure she's probably posted a link or something. I don't know, but I went ahead and posted a link up. So if you're not the Cozy Crew, come over. Karen does a fabulous job running it. She does all my graphics. She's my right arm, and I'm right-handed, so I couldn't do it without Karen. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to get some bookmarks to give away for National Camping Month, which is over in the Cozy Crew. Isn't that cute? And she makes them. I love them. And she gave me that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Julie, you are so smart. Here, I'll give you let's see. Also, Sandy Springs Campground. Oh, she has cabins, y'all. I think last time I took y'all on a tour, but don't worry, you're going to get the tour. Here is their Facebook page. So go like their Facebook page. They are amazing. And I love them. And so this is my favorite campground. And so I love it. Uh-oh. Rowena is next to my Snuggie. She's going to get hair all over the Snuggie. Andrew said that orange tabbies are the best, and it's a girl. So she knows she's a diva. And she is a funny one. So are you on my newsletter? Do you get my newsletter? And she has a weekly post in the newsletter, but she also does posts in the Patreon, which is hilarious. So anyways, y'all, Karen said I can post link, plus I shared this live in the group. Oh, thanks, Karen. You are the best. I have one called Percy. Oh, we love your Percy. Well, all right, you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Tuesday here answering a reader question. Love you all. Talk to you soon.